Live.
Hey, welcome to the mentorship class, man. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm a little under the weather here today, so I'll try to manage through this. On that mentor class Facebook page, man, the first thing I want you guys to do is click on that mentorship program roster. If you guys can look at that roster right there, open it up where it says see more. These are the students, the juniors and the seniors. I'm going to go down through here. And I'm just going to tell you guys what people need. I can tell you that Fail needs a junior mentor. Yosef needs a junior mentor. Let's see here. Looks like EM, Mary Rice, needs a senior mentor. Liaison needs us. Well, no Loop's taking care of that too. Let me go on down here because I don't know if you guys are opening this up and looking at it, but Gary Rayburn needs a junior. Natsu needs a senior. Detroit, you know, he's a leader now, guys, and man, he's asking to be a student sometimes. So it looks like No Lube's the same there, but it doesn't matter who you are or what level you are or whatever. If you guys want to be on here, Stumpy needs a junior and a senior. Zigzag needs a junior. Wolfpack needs a junior. Some fucking Shadow Warrior needs a junior.
Which Wolfpack? Our one or Shrone?
I believe that this Wolfpack is Shrone. That's another thing that I'm going to try to do on the next weeks is I'm going to try to get the student with what group they're with and their level, because it makes kind of a difference for the juniors. But Reaper needs a senior. Poison Ivy, man, these are some people that nobody has even touched to help out. This is what I really want. You know, I don't care if it's a junior or a senior, but I need to get Poison Ivy a junior or a senior. Max Remington a junior or a senior. Invincible a junior or a senior. And but you guys get the point of what I'm trying to talk about here, right, guys?
Oh, yes.
I would like for people to step up, man. Just post right underneath this thing right here who you guys want to help out. If you want to be a student, because what's going to happen, man, is I'm really watching now. I'm spending a lot of my time watching how people talk, how people operate in the game, and I'm going to start plugging them in here when I see that they're going to be a good match. All right, so enough with the mentorship program, man. I just definitely want to get them slots filled if I can, guys. That's all I'm trying to say. If you'll back out of that, and then the slides there, it says class for Saturday night, 8:20, Hellwrath and sub builds. The picture on the left, top left, it's a picture of the Hellwrath. We'll just start right there. So like I say all the time, man, I'm not the best builder. I'm not the best guy to be doing this. I'm definitely not the coiner that coins these to tell you that this is the best way. That's what this class is about. We're going to hash this out tonight. We're going to find out what works, what don't, what theory there is out there, and move on. So the Hellwrath, this is just a blank hole right here. The thing that I wanted to point out on this slide, on the very first slide, was the combat speed. It starts out at 30, and turn speed is 30, and the map speed is 45. The cloak time is 35 seconds, and the surface time is 5. The cloak efficiency is 25%, just out of the box. Go to the next slide. And what I want to talk about here with this Hellwrath is this: the taking damage triggers the override, and every 1,200 points armor damage that this thing is going to get, them bonuses right there. For 12 seconds, it's going to get 30% better combat speed, 20% turn speed, and 50% explosive defense, and 50% concussive defense. So that was the other thing on the other slide prior to that. This already has 50% explosive damage out of the box. Then when it overloads, it gets another 50%. So that's actually 75%, I believe, together. So 75% explosive damage with nothing else on it. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So I can tell you now that in the raid or what's coming up, and that's the damage that's in there, guys. It's explosive and I believe concussive is the damages that we're going to be dealing with in the raid. So if you were to build this, and we'll talk about builds later on, but if you were to build this and add more explosive, you're just adding to that 50%, the original 50% of that. So we'll move on. What I did was I just put in here some weapons, some specials, some stuff that goes with subs that I believe that's relevant. This is all raid tech. So I'm not talking about fleet versus fleet or taking a base or taking a guard off of a base. This is what I'm talking about right here is just specifically stuff for raid. So there's the Fire Twister. That's the new torpedo. And we'll talk about this later on, but I believe it's what they call a dumb weapon. This is not going to track the other boat or the other boats. If you're trying to kite a boat, and I want people who have built these to talk about this later on, but this is going to fire where the boat was when it fired. So, but it does do. It's an awesome weapon if it's standing still. The next slide, sealed fire charge. This is another great special. What I wanted to talk about this not only is for the subs, but you can also put this on for anything that you want to increase the projectile speed or the splash of a weapon. But it does have a torpedo critical chance and a torpedo critical damage, which just makes this an awesome special for subs.
Looks like it knocks down your cloak efficiency a little bit too.
Yeah, and we'll talk about all that cloak efficiency and stuff when we get into the builds. I'll just say it for theory. I don't believe cloak efficiency is going to be needed much in the raid, unless you're planning on getting real close to these. Like if you're going to use B-torps on a build, you might want to have your cloak efficiency up a little bit better than if you're using Cherions or sticks or the new weapon. So. But anyway, we'll move on. That's the new sealed charge, fire charge. The next one was Renaissance battery, which the way that this would work on a sub is only when you're in that sub cavitator field or when you're in any kind of a field aura. It'll kick this Renaissance battery, and it's just another theory on a build. I plan on not even getting in them, to tell you the truth. But if you plan on just getting in there and horsing through the raid, which it might work, man. You might be able to just go in there, jump on the first target, get in one of them auras, and then just go to town with this new weapon. But if them boats are moving, that new torpedo is not going to be your best friend. The next one was Stealth Attack System 4. Another great special. It gives you 40% concussive damage and gives you cloak time. So basically, cloak time is downtime on a sub, and that's what I like. A downtime. If you're not surfaced, you can't be seen, and if you can stay out of thermal or sonar, you're good to go. Let's see here. The thing with that stealth attack is it's 30% total weight. Next, I've got some motors here for subs. The Magnus Drive 2. Basically, it's an engine with cloak efficiency. Basically, is what it is. So it's gonna. Does it give you downtime? I thought.
No, just cloak.
It's just gonna give you cloak efficiency. The Magnus Drive. Then hydraulic resistors. This has always been a limited deal for the raids. This is basically a speed system 5 with concussive defense, is what this comes out to be. It gives you 15% concussive or just speed system 5. And then there's speed system 5. This is what I'd suggest putting on any kind of a sub, or we'll hash out a build here in a minute, but there's speed system 5. It gives you the good turning ability, gives you combat speed, turn speed, and map speed. It's the best all-around thing. The next thing is Ion Thruster 3. This is a researchable tech. Everybody ought to have this. At R15, this gives you a turn speed of 205.5%. I love this. This is great. And then some of the torps that are going to be relevant for the raid, or basically for anything. If you're not using assault bees, is one. I wanted to point out the range. That's 78 on the range, but the damage is only 560. I can tell you now, guys, I've got some Nighthawks that I've been trying to rank up, hitting them 50 targets, and my bee torps, man, aren't getting it done. So if that's the best you got, you're going to have to definitely try to get them damaged, get a special on there that's going to help the damage. The next slide is the Styx torpedo. I like the Styx. It does two kinds of damages. I don't think that I've got the other picture down below of what the dot damage is on this, but the range on this is 88. I believe range is everything on your weapons. So this starts out your longest range weapon. I think that's all I'm going to talk about on the Styx for right now. Oh yeah, I did bring it down. There's the dot damage, 360. So dot max damage was 18,000 on that, but I think it had to be hit. We'll talk about that here in a minute too. Does anybody know how many times that's got to be hit before you get the 18,000 damage? Does it have to load up 100% dot damage, and how much dots per shot?
Not sure. Have to research that.
Yeah, I think every torpedo applies a dot if it hits the ship. So then it just multiplies by every torpedo that's hit it.
Up to
It just takes
18,000.
6 seconds to kill it.
Right. So I know that this is great. If you got a boat that's going to be pulling in and pulling out real quick, this is probably something that you want to do so it creates damage when you pull away. But until this last raid, this was the only torp that I had. So I've absolutely fell in love with it. But we'll move on. The next torp is a Cheiron torp. I mean, it's the best upfront damage that you're going to get. It's 1,173 damage, just one shot. So that's doing pretty good when you get this thing ranked up and you get a hull that's sculled at 75%. This thing's going to be chucking them out there pretty quick. Strike warheads for some of you guys that might want to use that. It adds concussive damage to your torps already. So it'd be that plus that damage right there, the Kixeye manipulative, or however you say that word. Next slide was concussion warhead 3. That's a researchable deal. Everybody ought to have that. That's pretty self-explanatory. That just increases your damage of your weapon. Next slide, Nautilus Battery 3. At rank 15, its cloak time is 49.5%. Next slide is Caterpillar Drive. At R15, this is going to give you a plus 74.3 cloak efficiency. And basically that goes against sonar only. So 74% of whatever their sonar is, which if their sonar is pushed out there 100, you're only going to be able to get within, just to think about it in my head, probably about 50 to that, maybe even 70 or 60 to that other ship before you might die. And then here's my Hellwrath build, or my Hellwrath build. This is what I'm building now. This is what I want to talk about as builds tonight. I just wanted to go over, if you guys don't know what them specials and what that stuff is, but this is my build, and I'll tell you the theory behind it. I would have went with all these, the new torp that came out, but it is a dumb weapon, and I believe that I'm going to come up, or I'm going to be seen somehow, some way, and I'm going to be having to kite them. I'm going to have to run from them. So I put 4 Cheirons on here to try to take care of that. Also with this, I tried to build up my speed. I know it's not the fastest one out there, But the combat speed of 62 with a turn speed of 136 is going to be pretty smoking fast. I'm going to be able to get in there and basically cause my damage and turn around and get out, which my damage on this one was 22,838. Now, like I said, I don't believe that this is the best build out there. This is just the first one that I started building right after the raid. I'm going to see some other people and see how theirs are going and maybe change this up some. But this is my build. Plus, I wanted to get the most weight out of it. So, the boat is designed for speed. It's a fast boat. It's a boat designed to get in and get out. Your surface time on this boat is also just 5 seconds. So once it pops up, it's going to be quick. Unlike a Tiger, I think it's like 16 seconds up. So basically what this boat needed was to go fast, to be able to turn and get out. And we'll go over the theory about it. But the next slide, I just pushed the little slider down on the side to get you all the bonuses right there. But what I wanted to talk about was on this taking the damage, if you look at the bear hull and then you look at the hull being built, as in this picture, it just says the overload effect. It says for 12 seconds, it's just combat speed is all it's saying here. Where before it said it gave it 30% combat, it gave it 20% this, and 50% explosive. So I wanted to talk about this just a little bit. Have you guys noticed this, that it's not showing the 50% explosive here on the overload?
No, I didn't even notice it had the other. I haven't looked at it super close to have missed that, so I don't know. But I did notice whenever I was ranking it that every time it overloaded, it would just seem to go faster, and that was it.
So it's kind of confusing to me that the bear hull says that it has an explosive, which I'm counting on that because I didn't put any other explosive specials on here or explosive armors. Because I'm hoping to be able to just run in there and take the boat out and back out and just one at a time throughout the whole thing. But when I seen this in the build, I was like, well, crap, where'd my 50% on overload go?
When you have it built, it's still there. It probably didn't fit in the shipyard screen.
I'm hoping that's
looking
it.
at it. I'm looking at it now. It's there.
It's there on mine too.
Well, great.
You got plus 20% bonus turn speed, 50% explosive, and 50% concussive defense.
Yeah, so I'm betting on that 75% explosive defense just right out of the gate and not having to put any more on my build. Basically, I just wanted to get in there fast and turn and get out. So that's my theory behind the build. What I don't have here, and what I'm a little scared about, is this cloak efficiency. It was only 45% on my build. Normally on a sub, man, I want that at the highest number I can get. I want my downtime and my cloak efficiency to be high, but being for the raid, I'm not knowing if that's the case.
If I can just interject something.
What was that, bud?
I said if I can just throw my 10 pence in.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Reaver ships have the cavitator field, so chances are if you get in and you're detected, or if you're not detected and that cavitator field comes on, you're going to be surfaced and you're going to be taking the pain. So I wouldn't count on cloak efficiency being 99 point odd. I think you need to consider defenses.
So do you still believe in cloak efficiency for this raid then?
No, it's engineered towards, even when you kill them, you're going to take damage. When you're on the surface, they're going to rip into you. So I think you obviously need the cloak efficiency to be able to sneak around the map. But there's going to be that period where even if you've got 99% whatever, if you get caught by one of those cavitator fields, it really doesn't matter all that cloak efficiency because you're going to be sat on the surface.
Right. So then the next slide, like I said, these aren't the greatest builds. I just kind of throw them together real quick for the class, but I just wanted to show you that if for somebody who just got Tiger Sharks and has Magnus Drive or a speed system, I just thought that, you know, if you were going into the last raid and you were going to get a sub, most people probably did get a Tiger if that's the lowest that they could get. So I believe with the researchable stuff right here, I believe that this Tiger, which my Tigers are nowhere near able to turn as fast as this one that I just did a build on, because I put that thruster on there. And that's where my Tigers falter. I can't get them to turn worth a crap. So basically I could get them to stay down a long time, but I can't get them to turn good in combat. But I did want to say that the cloak time on the Tiger is 1:05, so that's a minute and a half downtime. So you can kill, you know, I can kill several of them ships in there, but I can't turn around and I can't run away. And then when I'm up for the surface time on this, when it comes up on its own, it's up for 15 seconds. So that's what sucks. I'm getting caught in the cavitator fields, and basically that surfaces me, and then it doesn't stop until I get out of it. Then I got 15 seconds before it drops. So them things are just chewing me up. Are you guys finding that with your Tigers?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. I try to stay a good half inch away from the edges of those cavitator fields and usually don't have too much trouble. But yeah, the surface time is what kills you if you're getting close. I mean, you got to run and keep running because those drones are going to chase you, and man, they do some damage.
Yeah, I've been going in one boat at a time on them things. That way it's not taking my whole fleet. And like I said, it takes me about 3 subs to do one of them, a 70 with these Tiger Sharks. I just basically park them in the corner and bring in 1 sub at a time. But like I said, that's not my build that I use out there now. I just thought that this would be something, if somebody didn't know, or if they just got this prize, that they probably got the sticks because it was the cheapest, and the Tiger, it was the cheapest out of them. So you should be able to throw this together, and this will probably work. And then the next slide, if you didn't get any of them and you got a Nighthawk, this is the way I'd build my Nighthawks. If I had a chance to refit them, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's either build the new Hellwrath or refit something. And I've been building subs for like 40 days now, folks. So and now I'm going to step into it for another 30 days, build another set of subs. So I'm a little ticked off. But anyway, there's a Nighthawk build. Like I said, it's probably not the best build, but this will probably do something in the raid. Basically, we're looking for speed, turning, and killing power. Them are Cherions is what's on that. And then the next slide is a Barracuda. Basically the same thing. I just put Magnus 2 on there. I put battery so it gets some downtime. What I was really impressed with this Barracuda was the 60-second downtime. I've never built any Barracudas, but I thought that they were a sub that popped up pretty quick, but this stays down for a minute. So I was pretty impressed with that. And that's R13 also. So, okay, so that's all my slides. The one thing that I didn't, wait a minute here. There was some other slides. Oh yeah. If you click right, if you back out of them slides right there, it says view 5 more comments that are right underneath there. That Robert Smart had posted a Huggies build, but I wanted to talk about these new stuff that just came out in the FM this week for subs. I don't know if everybody was caught up, if this is what you got this week or not, but these are some pretty cool specials for subs. I'm trying to bring it up. I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but the Mimicus system. Basically, this is a battery, and a dang it,
Caterpillar drive.
Yeah, a battery and a Caterpillar drive together. Thank you very much. Is what this is. It seems like a pretty cool special. I'd probably use this if I could get it, but it's so far away from my tier 5. So Are you guys getting that this week or?
Next week.
Yeah, next week I think.
Those of you that are caught up on Tier 5, man, that's awesome. And then the next little slide that was underneath that one was the expanded concussive charge, which I thought this was an awesome weapon.
That's a turret special.
That's a turret special?
Yep. Weapon power consumed.
Gotcha. Oh, I thought this was for a boat. Shit. Thanks, man, for pointing that out. But yeah, you're right. I was hoping that I could stick this on there for 60% splash and concussive damage. Wow. Dang it. Well, anyway, that's good for a turret in your base anyway.
That's for that new concussive gun that turret that they're coming out with.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, that was irrelevant. Sorry about that, guys. And then there's Paul. You want to talk about that ghost crawler? You got one of them, or you got posted there?
Yeah, sorry about the picture, folks. I can't get my print screen to work. But yeah, this is my new toy. Got a lot of special slots. Got a lot of freaking weapon slots. Unfortunately, I didn't get pictures of the other stuff. Some of the other issues with this particular sub is it's a 400% repair rate. So if it dies, yeah, I'm not coining that one, let me tell you.
They didn't change that one?
No, it's a limited sub, so they didn't change it. Or a whatever they call it, mega weapon or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's still 400%. At least that's what it said. One of the things to remember for those that maybe get this or have one of these is you actually don't have to worry about your dive time because you never surface with it. You know, and this is some of the things we have the class for, is make sure you read up the descriptions of your holes and stuff, because instead of wasting a space, you know, I can just be like, oh sweet, you know, I can just go for straight damage, turning, and in this case, explosive defense for the raids. But it's still building right now. Obviously, I've used a couple tokens, but I took that just a little while ago. So yeah, it's still got 10 days, 14 hours. It's going to be a little while. But if you look at it, it's got a penetrating defense of plus 50%. I'm not entirely sure what the remote targeting evade is. I'm assuming that's for ships that are firing off of like rhinos and things to that effect. It's got a concussive defense 50%, combat speed of 33. But if you look down, that's where I'm going to have to majorly boost. Is my turn speed is 10. That's really bad. But in the end, I mean, I've got 4 torpedoes on there right now just building, and it's already at, what is that, 11,360 damage. And it's got room for a whole lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 16 more. So, I mean, it's going to be pretty much a one-hit kill on each hole, hopefully, when I hit them. Any questions on that?
They don't fire as fast on the ghost crawler, though.
Okay. Well, I planned on mixing the new torpedo, the twisters, with Charons, because the twisters don't track. Charons will, so I was going to mix them together a little bit.
I put all B's on mine.
Good Lord, that'd be like traveling with a jet ski. But I also wanted the range that these have, so. Because with the way those cavitator fields or whatever they are, I'm assuming that's what they are on those Reaver ships, you're going to have to, with B's, you're going to have to get in pretty close too and spin it and get out. You'll have the speed, definitely. That's for sure.
That cavitator field has no effect on a ghost crawler.
I thought it would bring them to the, not surface, but it brings them to the, what is it, the shallow dive?
It doesn't affect them.
Oh, wow. Good to know. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions?
The only thing you're going to need on that ghost crawler It's a lot of explosive defense.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, I had the fire twisters on mine. Took them off. They don't fire nowhere near as fast as a bee.
I gotcha. All right. Well, we'll discuss builds probably after we get through everything else. Hornet, you got any more that we need to go over?
Yeah, just Brianna, she had posted a little slide underneath there. I think we're going to skip by rogues here real quick. We're just going to go over this. Basically, somebody put together just a quick little slide of the best downtime on the Hellwrath. So if you guys can click on that, I know they're kind of small, but they can be read. Which I didn't know what that special was in the top right-hand corner. It didn't say. It looked like it wasn't available at the time. But basically, this Hellwrath, no matter how you configure it for its downtime, the best you're going to get is about 52 seconds of downtime. So
that's that new mimic system, isn't it? Or Mimicus?
And it could be. So basically, on any kind of build that we put together, the best that we're going to get's about 50 seconds or so. So it doesn't matter what you put on there. You can't get any greater than that. So I guess that's what that slide was trying to point out right there. And then that's all I got. Rogue, are you on?
I know he was.
He's
Rogue.
in here, but his mic's muted.
Rogue. He was into all the data, man. I really wanted to get him to talk about stuff, man. He's really into the percentages and the best stuff. But he's got
Coming
his
back.
builder.
He's loading back in.
Okay. And
Rogue.
Looks like he's keying up, but can't hear anything.
There we go.
There you are.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah, this is Rogue's build, and I'll let him talk about that. I really wanted to get him on board in this mentor class, man. He's a special guy. I love what he's got, and man, he's all about the percentages, like I said, and really digs into the build. So I'm gonna let him take off on his build, and then we'll discuss any kind of builds. If anybody wants to put one together, we'll get on Huggies and we'll hash it out. But Rogue, go ahead, bud.
All right. Actually, if anybody can just click on that Huggies page, you can see what I've put there. And I actually wanted to talk about more of the philosophy of PvP and PvP in order to get the best build. And why? Because this boat, when it came out, it reminded me very much how in other games I play rogue characters, and we have very limited time in stealth to do what we need to do. And therefore, there's two key factors that make us successful. And that is speed, which we covered, and maneuverability, which we covered. Now, I created two of these builds, and I also put in what you're going to be facing. These are your biggest threats other than other hell wraiths, which is a whole other conversation. And I stacked these big boats with speed, which most people will not. And so basically, you're going to be clicking on these boats, and you're going to say, oh my God, the Retribution, that's 67 or 64 combat speed. That's pretty fast. But keep in mind, most people will not be stacking speed on these boats because it takes away from other things. So if I'm approaching this like a rogue, which I do, the first build, I've got max speed at 84. Keep in mind, Huggies rounds down for us, and they round up. I'm not Huggies, but Kixeye rounds down for us and rounds up for them, meaning that we don't get the benefit of the 0.6, but they get the benefit if it's going for them. So I'm looking at a boat speed of 84.06 and a 123 turn speed because I didn't rank my ion thruster yet. So what this is going to enable me to do, the boat is going to kill on the raid. There's no question about it. It's going to do what it wants to do. My goal here is to apply it to another role, and the other role is PvP. So what this is going to allow me to do is I'm going to, like you said, I'm going to get in, I've got 52 seconds. I'm going to get in. I'm going to use 30 of those seconds, bombard him at 88, and I'm going to bail. And why am I going to bail? Because I need to get enough distance between him and me so when I surface, he can't catch me. So then once he turns to me and chases me, I'm going to drive right back into him, straight in, because guess it is a dummy torpedo. And I'm going to rinse and repeat. Now the smart guys, what they're going to do is they're going to angle their boats to try to cut you off, which makes your speed and your maneuverability even more important. So if I can go 30% faster than the fastest boat here, then I can achieve this goal. The other reason why I like this first build is the hit points for the effect that we've already discussed earlier. For every 1,200 hit points, is that right, Hornet?
That's right.
For every 1,200 hit points, you get a big boom to your abilities. The more hit points you have, the more big boom you get to your abilities. Having a low hit point boat doesn't do you any good. I like the Bs for the speed. I'm not even worried about them firing. I'm not worried about my DPS. That's 47,892. That's sufficient. What this boat will do, what I want it to do. But it is a driver's boat. It's going to beat the living crap in speed and maneuverability out of any one of these other boats you see down there. Now, people love DPS. They love the big numbers. So that's why I made the second boat. And I did plug in the new Mimicus system, and frankly, I don't see any benefit other than from what my build is at all. Again, other people may see it, but for me, I still got the same specials, right? I stacked all of the new torpedoes, and it gets me upwards of 60, well, it should say 62,000 DPS. But what that does do also is it slows me down. We're going to round down numbers. 76. It's not 76.86, it's 76. My boat is 84.6. It's just 84. So I'm going to be 8 points faster in speed than this other boat. And this other boat is going to have only 14,000 hit points, whereas my original boat has 19,500. So that means I'm going to get at least 2 more big bang booms to my performance when I take damage. So in my opinion, the way it looks, and again, Kixeye doesn't always agree with me, but as a hit and run artist, either one of these boats will do well, but I believe based on the effects you get, the benefits you get, the first boat is a better choice. Based on that philosophy. Because when I'm playing a rogue, I'll sneak up on them, whack them in the head, and if I can't kill them right away, I'll re-stealth, reset up, go at him again. That's what I believe this boat has been designed for. So I believe that this will not only excel in the Reaver, but also in player versus player. And I wanted to bring up another point. And this is just philosophy. A dead boat with 62,000 DPS is still a dead boat. You may get off that 62,000 DPS against that boat chasing you, but if you're dead after that, then that boat has 0 DPS. But if you got a boat that lasts the entire fight, spitting out 47,800 DPS the whole fight, then that's no contest. And most people think that the main goal when you go into a combat situation in player versus player is to kill the other guy. Your main goal is to survive it. Your secondary goal is to kill the other guy. And that doing it with the least amount of damage possible should be a priority. And I'm hoping that people like Hellspawn can come and look at these builds, at least the first build, and say, you know what, we can make that better. But I just wanted to share that and that philosophy with everybody in case they were thinking about doing stuff. And because everybody right now is thinking about what do I do? What do I do? So just give us some thought. You got these to look at, and let's hope someone can, beat it to death. And that is it.
So let me ask you this: for the people that have these built, how are they doing in the elite cargos? I mean, because they're moving, right? I want to know how this dumb weapon.
They do fine. They do fine there. I think it's going to be a higher rate of combat speed that they're going to have a harder time with. But I have put 2 on my Ghost Crawler, and they do fine.
So,
and I think I agree with the mixing it. I don't think you want a boat with all those, like on the Ghost Crawler. Now, the new ship is geared for them, but all the other subs are not geared for that torp.
I tested mine out in one of the 70 Reavers, the one that drops the Tiger shards, and I mean they did. Keep in mind, they were only one was fully built. The rest of them were just partial builds, and I mean it hit the moving ships no problem. Although most of them wouldn't move if you had the right stealth on them, but the drones move, and because my boats weren't all built out, all of them were moving. But I killed them no problem, because remember, even though it may not hit them, it does splash damage when it explodes. So you're still dealing them damage, even if you don't hit them square.
So would you suggest maybe boosting the splash up on these things to get that bigger boom at the spot where it lands?
I think that would be a mistake. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought he was asking. You go ahead.
Well, you put a splash. Can you hear me? Is my mic on? Yeah. You put a splash boost on the one build, right? The sealed fire charge gives a splash boost.
I thought he meant something on top of that.
Oh, the one guy I was talking to, which actually I thought was kind of interesting, guy I was talking to in comms today, he said he put special. It's actually one you would think of for mortars. He put Combustion System 2 on. It actually gives you a much bigger splash boost. It also has the projectile speed bonus, and it can be retroed. So if you have it at R15, you get a pretty big splash boost from it. And it doesn't have the cloak efficiency ding that you get with the sealed fire charge. So I was actually thinking about switching mine up and putting that on mine.
See, that makes a lot of sense.
Hornet, anything else in regards to the class?
I think that's it. I think we'll just work with some people and try to hash out some builds with them if they want to go through that, or we'll just talk about whatever we need to about this sub.
Okay, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Everybody, I do appreciate you for being here, all 45 of you, 44 of you, 45 counting me. I think these things are always very educational. I learned something. You know, it's like I was telling somebody earlier, I didn't come to the first few of these. I kind of put Hornet and at the time JD in charge of these things, and they did the first one. I didn't go to them, and I thought, I probably should go to these things. So I started checking them out, and I went, oh, I forgot all about that. Or, man, I didn't know that. And it's just like tonight. I learned a few tidbits on these subs tonight that I've been racking my brain trying to figure out a build. So definitely appreciate you guys being here, because not only do you learn something, but we also value your feedback and your input, just like Prime was just saying. So everybody's got ideas. Everybody surfs pages. Everybody sees builds. So when we put all our ideas together in this situation here, I think we come up with the best build. Plus, the most important thing that all of us hate to do is we have less refitting. So thank you for coming. I'm going to conclude the class, and we'll go from there.